Taties by Dana Lee. Chapter 13. Their excitement soon turned to worry, however, when Daddy checked on his garden. What? Oh no! What's the matter, Daddy? The little Taties came running. Leaf Taty and the Fry dropped the sacks of berries and ran towards the hubbub. Unfortunately for the Taties, however, those two rotten Taties, Moldy and Mort, were lurking about the undergrowth and heard the stirring. "What do you suppose is in those sacks, Mort?" Moldy asked. "I'll go see." He slithered up, stole the sacks, and slipped back into the undergrowth. "Let's get going," ordered Moldy. "We'll check out the sacks down the road." But when they opened the sacks, they were sickened at the sight. "Sweetness!" Moldy screeched. Mort dumped out the sacks onto the dirt path, where they jumped up and down upon all the sweet berries till they were all mashed into the ground. "That's better now," said Mort, as they headed home to the hollow oak in their rotten plot. Meanwhile, the Taty stared bleakly at the muddy garden. Daddy began to dig, but every carrot, turnip, and parsnip was covered in mold and black spots. The whole place had a stench of rottenness about it that made the little Taties' tummies retch. "Come out from there," Mummy warned them. "Come in and have a hot bath." Daddy just stood there shaking his little head. "No food," is all he said. "Come now," Mummy repeated. "We'll worry about that tomorrow." She heated some water on the stove, filled the wooden tub, and scoured Daddy clean. He still was not speaking. "I don't like it," said Mummy. She washed her hands and went to make some raspberry tea when she called to her children. "Where are the berries?" Fry Taty came out first with a jug of water from the spring. "Mummy, that's what I wanted to tell you. When Daddy yelled about the garden, Leaf and I were dragging the sacks of berries which we dropped. We left them just there, only when we came back for them, they were gone. We've looked everywhere. They seem to have, poof, vanished. Do you think the fairies took them?" Mummy Taty's brow furrowed. She was very worried indeed. "No bother, my sweet little Fry. Help Mummy clean up." Harry Hedgehog reached home later very hungry. Sweet Taty had nothing but mooncakes and violet flower salad to feed him. She had to explain to him why they were hungry. "Harry, will you go with Fry Taty and me to find some honey?" Of course he would. Chapter 14. The next morning, Sweet Taty, Fry, and Harry went searching the wild honeycombs in the purple fields for honey. Fry tumbled into a comb, got stuck in the honey, and got stung on the bottom by a bee before his sister pulled him out. They had managed to collect a jar of valuable honey, though, from Beatrix, the little alchemist bee. Mummy praised them and made it into cakes. "I'm getting low on flour," Mummy said. "Oh, I'll talk to Jack about that," said Sweet Taty, as Daddy gave her the eye. "You are useless," Daddy scolded his lazy son Leaf. "Tomorrow you too will go and find us something to eat." The morning thereafter, Mummy collected dandelions for salad and tea. Sweet Taty called One-Eyed Jack, who came to her beckon. "Hello, Jack. Did you have a pleasant spring?" "Caw, couldn't have. Oh, Sweet Taty, those nasty rotten Taty have spoiled everything. Everything they touch turns to mold and decay." "The rotten Taties?" "Yes, they ruined your garden. I saw them do it. Do you have anything left to eat at all? I'm awfully hungry." "You mean you have no food at all?" Jack shook his head and ruffled his feathers. "Sweet Taty, this is the worst blight I've ever seen." "Blight? What's that?" "A pestilence to the land." "Oh, Jack, Mummy needs some wheat, which she'll pound into flour for cakes. Then I'll give you some. The blight." "There is none." "No wheat in all the meadow after all the rain?" "None." "Well then, oats." Jack shook his shining black head. "Barley? Surely there must be some corn to be had somewhere." "Perhaps somewhere, perhaps in town. I'm moving there tomorrow, Sweet Taty. I don't want to, but I'm hungry and I have to eat. All I can find on Spring Hill lately are beetles and worms, and I don't like them 'tall." "Where's town?" "Across the purple fields of honey, across the water." "Goodbye, Sweet Taty, my friend. Maybe I'll see you too in town." Jack rose and flew through the trees. Leaf Taty was the luckiest. He had gathered a whole basketful of mussels from the stony cliffside. Over a light supper of dandelion salads with violets and mussel stew, Sweet Taty told the other little Taties what Jack had said. "There's no wheat, no oats, no barley, no corn. Jack is moving to town." "I don't like this soup," cried Fry Taty. "It smells fishy." "Daddy, what's in town?" Sweet Taty asked. "It's a place for the crows, sweetie, not a place for us." "Well, it seems there is no food for us here, Daddy," Mummy said. Fry Taty wrinkled his button nose. "This soup is not for me." He pushed his bowl away and nibbled his salad like a rabbit. "How'll we last the winter?" Leaf Taty wondered out loud. "I suppose you'll hibernate," Daddy said, although he didn't really mean it. Truth be known, Leaf's question had really shaken him. "Can Taties hibernate?" Fry Taty asked. He was thinking about Robert. "Not really, baby," Mummy patted his hand. "Well, maybe we had better see about the town, then," Leaf suggested. "How are you feeling, Daddy?" Mummy asked. "Much better now, Mummy. I hate to leave our home, though. Generations of Taty have sprouted from these very roots. Do you realize that this very tree has been struck by lightning twice?" Of course they all knew it. They had heard it 100 times. So they all knew that they had better pack up again and head towards town. It was a sad night beneath the pussy willow tree. Each little Taty was noticing something different, something familiar that they would miss dearly from home. Mummy cried as she removed her teacups from the kitchen shelves that were roots from her beloved tree. Fry Taty did not want to get up from the kitchen table that Great-Grandpapa Taty had carved from pine. Leaf Taty tucked in early but couldn't fall asleep. He'd miss his little dark den he shared with his brother. Sweet Taty set off after supper to say goodbye to the hedgehogs. She gave them all hugs and kisses. Daddy left to see the gnome and came back with a brand new wagon that the gnome had made for them. Chapter 15. It was an early morning in June that the Taties said goodbye to Hedgerow and set off for town. Passing through the woods and purple fields, Beatrix Bumblebee was happy and buzzing. She gave the Taties some more honey for their tea. The Hoot Owl family waved farewell to the Taties. Meanwhile, back at the Hollow Oak, the Rotten Taties were having a party with rancid wine and moldy cheese. They were very happy with the blight indeed, as they were always pleased when things went rotten. The Sweet Taties were just about to leave the woods when Fry Taty said, "Listen." They could all hear it, a sweet summer song, when Robert the Butterfly flitted past them singing, "This way to sugar, follow me." All the Taties smiled. The day seemed hopeful. Fry Taty actually skipped along the way. And this is how the Taties left Hedgerow and came to town. But that is yet another story. The end. The Taties. A poem adapted from the story for self-publication by Dana Lee. The Taties live in a forgotten garden they call Hedgerow. I believe they come from potato patches, lost long ago. Taties are brownies, but there are rotten ones too, moldy and tattered, stinking and blue. "Dagnabbit," sputtered Daddy, springing out of bed. The thatched roof was leaking, dripping on his head. Sweet Taty's sister consorts with the old crow, Jack. They'll be moving on to Spring Hill till June, but they'll come back. Along the way, they see Daddy's pal, the gnome. He's smoking his pipe. Beneath the old maple is his home. Harry Hedgehog is Sweet Taty's ride. It's still raining. Mummy is their guide. while Brother Leaf keeps up alongside. The small fry Taties swears he spotted a fairy. She's golden and lovely, but Taties mustn't tarry. Lazy Leaf got caught in a vine. He's twisted and tangled, but he'll be fine. Spring House is hidden in an old country wall. It's quite the little dwelling, but Taties aren't very tall. The gray squirrel is sleeping in a tiny Tatie bed. He's eaten the nuts and berries and is stained 6 shades of red. Small fry Tatie loves the berries so. He's supposed to be gathering, but doesn't think Mommy will know. Beneath the pond, small fry hears a splish, splash, plink, and spots a small mermaid, pretty and pink. The caterpillar Robert has just changed into a butterfly. He's gorgeous and calls to Fry Tatie, "Goodbye." Sometimes Taties catch rides with the loon. Summer is upon them. They'll be going back to hedgerow soon. The owls hoot the Taties farewell. If you ever spot a Tatie, promise never to tell.